Murk from childhood. A sad look, even wistful and compassionate, and else, on the very bottom, a shade of something. What exactly? Veronica did not understand, but at that moment, seeing how Platon was looking at her, she thought that she should not have agreed to go with him after all. I did feel it, she thought, perfectly aware that she was lying to herself. Of course, she had not felt it at all. On the contrary, she was glad that she had started an affair with a pleasant, handsome, and most importantly, well-off man, because paupers and scoundrels can also be very good-looking and charming, and she had always had enough of that in her life. But Platon was different. The thought that she might develop real, long-term relationships that could even grow into marriage, who knew, took her breath away. She would not have to work. She could live like a queen. She only needed to behave properly and do everything wisely. What doubts could there be? They had met last week. In the evening, Platon had stopped by the 24-hour shop in the residential area where Veronica worked. He bought juice and chewing gum, not cigarettes and beer like most male customers, because, as it soon turned out, he did not drink or smoke. "Do you live nearby?" "Yes." Veronica flirtatiously shot at him with her heavily made-up eyes and regretted that her hair was styled carelessly, just an ordinary ponytail, and that her manicure should have been renewed long ago. "No, I came to visit a relative. Now I'm going home. I live outside the city." They struck up a conversation. Either Platon was in no hurry anywhere, or Veronica really had caught his fancy. And why not? She was young, pretty, shapely. The next day, Platon came again and bought everything. Chocolates, a box of candies, a jar of coffee, a little cake. The assortment in the shop was not very wide, but Platon took the most expensive items, paid for them, and left the bag for Veronica. "You have to stand behind the counter all night. Treat yourself." What a gesture. What a man. On top of that, Platon asked when Veronica had a day off and invited the girl on a date. That was how it started with them. Veronica told a couple of her girlfriends, bragged that she had landed a wealthy catch. They envied her and advised her not to miss her chance, not to be a fool, as if Veronica herself had not already understood that. Since then, they had met 3 times. They went to the cinema once and sat in a restaurant twice. Veronica kept waiting for when Platon would finally drag her into bed, but he was in no hurry, probably observing her. And in general, he was a serious man, thorough, respectable, and also attentive, caring, and generous. He would offer his hand, open the door, ask whether she was cold. Perfect. Platon was interested in how Veronica lived, what she liked, what she did in her free time. She answered carefully, diligently avoiding slippery topics that should be omitted at the beginning of an acquaintance. That could come later when Platosha got used to her and became attached. Then Veronica would be able to tell everything honestly. For now, you dress up in your best clothes and tell only the best about yourself. She had been a good student at school, only until the 5th grade, of course, but still. She had gone to music school, played the piano, enrolled in college. She had not managed to finish music school, nor college, but those were just details. Platon, meanwhile, was more open with his new acquaintance. What does he have to hide? Veronica thought. That he lives in a big country house, not in a rented little apartment. That he drives a Shakarni SUV. That he works in his own company and, judging by everything, earns very well. That he graduated from university. That his parents are dead. That he is unmarried. Last year, he traveled around Italy and showed the photos, and the year before that, he went to Canada. Veronica herself would have told such things about herself without any embarrassment. However, yesterday, when they were in the restaurant for the second time, it turned out that Platosha also had a skeleton in his closet. "Veronica, I like you very much, and I think you should know the truth about me, to decide whether such a wonderful girl should spend time on someone like me. You can't start a relationship with a lie. That's what I believe." Her breath caught and her heart fluttered. She sat there staring at Platon, wide-eyed and thinking that she had fallen into a fairy tale. She had finally been lucky for once. So he really had spoken about relationships, about liking her, and had called her wonderful? It took great effort to dim the glitter in her eyes and to ask with concern, "What happened? What do you want to confess?" "My story may frighten you. It is truly extraordinary and frightening. It happened a long time ago. I was only 7, but I remember all the details very well, and what happened, of course, could not help but affect me. It is true that we all come from childhood. Our traumas affect us years later, and the past is inseparable and drags along behind a person like a tail. With a smart and understanding air, Veronica placed her palm on his hand. "Don't worry, you can tell me everything honestly, Platosha. I won't judge or laugh," she said quietly, and thought that his dirty, dark secrets were only to her advantage. If she forgave his past, then he would be forced to do the same. "Thank you, dear," Platon said sincerely. In fact, the story is wild. It was autumn then as well. Autumn, the end of October. Vacations were about to start soon, and I was glad. We lived in the suburbs. The house belonged to my grandfather and grandmother. They had built it themselves, had already died by that time, and at that moment only my mother and I remained in the house. I did not know my father. My mother raised me alone. Veronica nodded in understanding. So, when I returned from school, she was there. Mother. Platon grimaced in anguish. No, my mother worked a lot. She was supposed to return in the evening. I became independent early. I went to school alone and returned alone. There was she in the house, that woman. At first, I took her for my mother. I came in and saw, as it seemed to me, my mommy. She was lying on the couch in the large room with a towel on her forehead. Her head must have hurt. My mother's robe, her slippers near the couch. In a dull, quiet voice, she ordered me to lock the door and come closer. I did as I was told, and when I returned to her with the key, she grabbed me by the hand and took the key away. Only at that moment did I realize that before me was not my mother at all, but a strange, unfamiliar woman in my mother's clothes. My God, what a nightmare! Veronica exclaimed quite sincerely. You're right, I was terribly frightened. The woman was much older than my mother, wrinkled, with yellow skin and crooked teeth. She had gray hair and eyes without eyelashes, and hands like chicken claws. She had painted her nails with my mother's favorite raspberry-colored polish and put on her rings and other jewelry. Now you are my boy, she said. I could not understand how I had confused that guttural, croaking voice with my mother's. Of course, I tried to run away, but she did not allow it. She tied me to a chair so that I could not move and said that if I screamed, if I made even a single sound, she would cut off my nose and tear out my tongue. I was terrified. After all, I was very small. My God, of course, Veronica said. Who wouldn't be frightened? The next few hours before my mother returned were the most horrible in my life, if not counting, of course, those that came later. Platon pressed his palms to his face, closed his eyes, and was silent for a couple of seconds. That vile creature walked around our house. She tried on my mother's clothes, shoes, and jewelry, combed her tangled hair with my mother's favorite comb, used her cosmetics, ate whatever she wanted. She made a salad and cooked buckwheat porridge. Since then, I cannot stand buckwheat. She brought the food on a tray, placed it on the table near me, and began to feed me with a spoon like a baby, ordering me not only to obediently open my mouth, chew, and swallow, but also to praise her disgusting cooking and to call her mommy. Veronica was stunned, listening with her mouth open. It seemed to me that time was dragging on endlessly, and I kept waiting for my mother to return. But when she did come back, that woman ambushed her. She was standing by the door. She ordered me to keep silent, otherwise she threatened to kill my mother. I kept silent, and she, of course, did exactly that. She killed her? Veronica gasped. Platon sorrowfully closed his eyes and shook his head. I hoped that my poor mommy did not have time to understand anything or feel anything. After that, the mad woman locked me in a closet. When I got out, she was also dead. She had taken her own life. Veronica was silent. She expected anything, but not this. I was sent to an orphanage, and later I was taken into a foster family. Good, kind people raised me, people whom I consider my real parents. They were no longer young and could not have children of their own. They were not afraid to take in a broken child who had been through hell. They gave me a good education, cared for me, and supported me. When they passed away, my foster father died first, and after him, my foster mother. I was heartbroken. I loved them, but I never forgot my real mother either, whom, as it always seemed to me, I should have warned and saved. I blamed myself and could not forgive myself. Oh, come on, Veronica exclaimed passionately. Never you dare blame yourself. You are not guilty of anything. Even an adult would have been confused and frightened in your place. let alone a 7-year-old boy. Platon thanked her and smiled. They talked a little more about it, and Veronica reassured him that the deeds of past days would in no way affect their present relationship. Seeing his lady home, Platon unusually timidly said that tomorrow was his birthday, his anniversary. He was turning 30, and he would like to invite Veronica to a modest celebration. She, of course, agreed with delight, thinking that Platon would take her to some luxurious place again. However, when he picked her up near the metro, as they had agreed the day before, Platon announced that he planned to celebrate at home. "How so?" escaped her. He looked upset. "Didn't I tell you? I think I mentioned it. The thing is, I always celebrate my birthday exclusively at home. Are you against it? If you refuse, then no, no, no." "Oh, come on, no," Veronica hurriedly interrupted. "My God, what does it really matter where?" Besides, it was long past time for them to become closer, Veronica reasoned. This would bind Platon to her more firmly. "Will there be a big company?" she asked. "Only you and me," Platon replied, turning to her with a slight smile. They drove for quite a long time. It had already grown dark, and rush hour traffic had begun, with traffic jams. Veronica dozed off and woke up when Platon touched her shoulder and announced that they had arrived. She expected them to be in an elite suburban settlement, but judging by the appearance, the place was completely ordinary. Veronica did not ask its name. She had no idea where exactly she was, and when she got out of the car, she felt a first prick of anxiety. The street was dark, the streetlights were barely lit anywhere. There was no light in the windows of neighboring houses either. Deserted, cold, not a sound from anywhere, only the rustle of rain. The house was surrounded by a high stone fence, probably so no one would rob it, Veronica thought. The neighborhood must be unsafe. Could it be that Platon could not afford housing in a more prestigious area? Veronica stood shivering in the yard while Platon parked the car and locked the gate. The house was small, wooden, one-story, also in no way matching Veronica's ideas of prosperity and wealth. "Do you live here?" she asked doubtfully. "Of course not. This is the house of my childhood, but we celebrate birthdays only here. It's a tradition." But the birthday boy had said earlier that no one else would be there, only he and Veronica. "Come in," Platon said, opening the door and turning on the light in the house. Veronica climbed onto the porch and went inside, trying her best to hide her annoyance. A cramped entryway, behind it a large room serving at the same time as a living room and dining room, doors leading to 2 other tiny rooms. The furniture was old-fashioned and cheap-looking. A sagging sofa, a wall unit, a round table. The convenience facilities were probably outside. And why, by the way, was the table not set? "Disappointed?" he asked, and Veronica looked at Platon. And it was then that he looked at her with that sad gaze. It was then that she thought she should not have come here with him. He locked the door and put the key in his pocket. "Come in, sit down." Veronica hesitated in the doorway and wanted to take off her shoes, but the host assured her there was no need. She approached the sofa and sat down on its edge. Everything here looked dusty, neglected, abandoned. What was going on? After all, you said outside that we were celebrating. Who else is coming? And again there was that sad look with a shade of pity. And yes, now Veronica understood what else had been hidden in that gaze. The celebration. That's what. Everyone is already here, my dear. The fun will start soon. Just be patient. The next instant, something happened. Something touched the back of Veronica's head. Or maybe she imagined it. Meanwhile, Platon made an elusive, swift movement forward, and something pressed against Veronica's face. It became hard to breathe. Black spots floated before her eyes. When the young woman opened her eyes again, she found herself tied to a chair, just like little Platon once had been, she remembered. Tied tightly. No way to break free. Platon was sitting opposite her, looking at her, and she could not understand how she had ever found him attractive. Sunken cheeks, thin hair, a predatory mouth, and most importantly, crazed eyes sparkling with unhealthy merriment. "So you're awake?" "That's great," he said flippantly, and there was no former warmth in his voice. "What do you want from me, you bastard?" "What do you mean, what?" Platon asked with feigned surprise. "We will celebrate my birthday, of course. Every year I invite here a special girl suitable for this purpose. This has been going on for 10 years now, since I turned 20. I strictly observe the agreement. It gives me only pleasure." He grinned broadly. What agreement? What pleasure? You're insane. Veronica jerked forward, but unsuccessfully. I'll scream. Oh, go ahead, he said indifferently. No one will hear. This is a workers' settlement on the outskirts of the city near the Kirov plant. Ever heard of it? Veronica had. The most dangerous district where no one went without necessity. It seemed that even the police did not patrol it. Very few people lived here permanently, and those who did were used to screams at night. But Veronica still screamed as loudly as she could, struggled again, but realized it was useless. Then she could not hold back and started to cry. Stop it, you won't move me, he sneered. You are a scoundrel and a liar. A liar? Yes, I lied, though now I will tell you the whole truth. But as for being a liar, oh, who are you to talk? And why didn't you tell me, your wealthy admirer, the most important thing? The young woman flushed and remained silent. And the most important thing is that you are a loose woman and a lazy one. You have a son, whom you had with yet another lover, and you have no idea who his father is. He is 6, and he needs you. But you do not take care of him and leave him alone at home. You do not buy him treats like normal mothers do. He wears hand-me-downs from your older sister's children. He has the cheapest toys, and you constantly yell at him and sometimes beat him. You do not love your child. Veronica, you are a bad mother, and for that today you will pay. What do you even know about my life? Everything, he answered simply. You have always been foolish and irresponsible, interested only in boys and partying. You started smoking at 13 and got drunk for the first time then as well. At 14, speaking in lofty terms, you lost your innocence. You could have pulled yourself together. Your mother and sister tried to help. They got you into college and wanted you to study at a music school. You have a good ear, but you never needed any of that. You just wanted to fool around, as you like to say. In the end, your mother died. She cried for days on end, cried and grieved, and you only came to her to dump your son on her. She was no longer of any use to you for anything else. At least you even got a job. Thanks for that. But how long will you keep it? You are incapable of holding on anywhere, and you even steal a little, by the way. So, my dear, your fate in the foreseeable future is clear. You will drink yourself into ruin, get fired, find yourself the same kind of outcast, and the two of you will drink together. Only your son is truly pitiful. Pity yourself, she bared her teeth spitefully. And now this maniac is going to teach me how to live. Look at that. And I do pity you, he agreed. It is time to tell you the truth. I know all this not from hearsay. I had a mother just like that, an alcoholic, a loose woman. She beat me, humiliated me, bullied me. By the way, I do not hate buckwheat because a crazy killer once cooked it, but because my mother used to buy it in sacks and forced me to eat it plain, with nothing at all. She didn't buy anything else. She cooked it without butter. There was nothing else in the house, only that cursed dry buckwheat. You made it all up, didn't you, about the crazy killer? Veronica asked. No, Platon replied. Everything is much more complicated. My life was so hopeless that I prayed for my mother to die. Let it be an orphanage, better yet foster parents. But surely there must be good people in this world who would pity an innocent child. And you know, my prayers were heard. One night she came to me, called herself a fairy who comes to abandoned, unwanted children. You called me, the fairy said, and here I am. I asked if she could fulfill my wish. The fairy stroked my head and said, Of course, that is why I came. You only have to help a little and play along. We also agreed that when I grew up, I would help other boys and girls who had fallen into the same misfortune. I would help them get rid of their bad mothers. After that, everything happened just as I told you. The fairy enchanted my mother's drinking companion. That drunken wretch came here and did everything I described to you in detail, to you and to the police. To everyone who asked, knowing nothing, driven by the fairy's will, she killed my mother and then killed herself. That is all, just as I said. Naturally, people pitied me. They wrote about this story everywhere. People appeared who wanted to adopt the poor but courageous boy who had found the strength to break free and call for help to summon the police. Veronica thrashed in her bonds. Untie me immediately. Her words were not heard. The day my wish was fulfilled, the day my mother was removed from my life, I consider the day of my birth. Everything happened on October 27th, and today on the calendar it is exactly the 27th. And on this day, ever since I turned 20, I fulfill our agreement. I helped the fairy do for other children what was once done for me. Platon laughed. Of course, not such a bright performance as the one arranged for me. Everything will be much more modest. You, my dear, will simply disappear, and everyone around will decide that you ran off somewhere far away, abandoning your son. Quite in your spirit, isn't it? You have always acted that way. From now on, your sister will raise the boy. A wonderful woman, by the way. Spare me, Veronica pleaded. I beg you, let me go. Too late, he answered coldly and stood up. The fairy chose you. She knows that you are hopeless, and it is time for me to go. My task this year is completed. I brought you. I explained everything to you so that you could understand why you will die. And now it is the fairy's turn. Platon approached the door, took the key from his pocket, and unlocked the lock. Goodbye, Veronica, he said, turned off the light and left the room. Left in complete darkness, she heard the key turn, locking her alone with the unknown entity. Help! Veronica squeaked. Something approached her. The young woman felt with her skin the presence of something icy, malicious, and greedy. Someone's fingers squeezed her neck, touched her hair and eyelids. Someone's lips moved close to her ear. Let's get acquainted. You turned the life of your own child into a nightmare, a whisper was heard. Now I will do the same to you. Veronica wanted to scream, but could not. The fairy had already taken her voice. This story has come to an end, but another truly straszny tale awaits you. Click on the picture and listen. Please do not forget to like, leave comments, and subscribe to my channel, Scary Stories by Merc. All the best to everyone.